Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hey, Ned, how you doing?
Hey, Marino, how you doing?
I'm all right. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. The hearts are
Yeah,
popping. What's going on?
happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Oh my goodness. Is that, I don't know, how do you feel about Valentine's Day? Is that a big holiday for you, Marino?
It's a holiday. It's not a big one. The biggest one for me is usually Christmas because that's like I actually look forward to Christmas, and every other holiday is like, yeah. And I just do the Valentine's Day thing just for the sake of, because I don't know, my partner's super attached to it, so I'm okay with it. Like, I'll make it a special day for her, and we'll be on our way.
Yeah. We're not big celebrators around the house. The kids like it because they get lots of candy from their friends and whatnot.
Chocolates, cards.
Yeah. My favorite day is actually the day after Valentine's Day because I'll go
Whatever.
to like the local drugstore and all of their Valentine's Day candy is like 50% or 75% off. And I'm like, yes, cheap.
I'm with you. I'm so with, and the same thing with Halloween too, right? Like I'll go right after
Oh, yeah.
Halloween's over, and boom. All right, chocolates for days. Well, everyone, we are here to get deep into our live stream on M.A.I.N episode 5.
5.
We've got,
all right.
Yeah, 5. Like we're 5 deep. That's wild. And we're continuing off from where we left off last time, where we got stuck because we were debugging some of the Python stuff I wrote and hacked away at with Ned's help. And now Ned is going to take over my mess.
See what happens.
And fix it. Fix it.
Yeah, man.
And while he's doing that, I have to go and inspect my cloud costs because we threw a bunch of things up on S3, and we've been calling the LLMs. We've been calling Bedrock a couple of times, so I'm not entirely sure, where I sit cost wise. But you know what?
Can't be terribly expensive at this point.
You know what? Now that I look at my bill, I'm looking at my bill and it's still $0, and I can't understand what we're doing wrong to make that possible. Or right, I don't know.
Well, let's just spin up an RDS cluster and blow that out of the water.
It does know that I'm using S3 for sure, but I guess there's like, I haven't spent enough time studying the costs model in AWS lately because I'm not sure how much things cost these days. I'm sure things have gotten cheaper while other things have gotten more expensive. But I do know when we're making calls to LLMs, and we're making very tiny calls, by the way.
Yeah.
The token usage that we go through is so limited that it is like less than a penny for a call.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing in one hand. I'm actually surprised we're using key management service here. Oh, I see why.
Is that from the S3 bucket I created to hold Terraform state?
That's probably it. But I think it's because it's using the free tier bit right now. So I'm not doing anything ridiculous, which is okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm good with it. But Ned, why don't we dig right into it?
Yeah, sure. Hey, code. So when we last left off our intrepid heroes, we were in the midst of trying to debug this transcribe.py Python script. The goal here is to have the script upload a file to S3 and then invoke AWS transcribe to grab that file, which is going to be an MP3 of some kind, and then transcribe it, wait till the transcription job finishes, and then in theory, take that, and I don't think we got that far, but take that file and send it to Bedrock to do a summarization of the transcript. That was the big idea. And we definitely hit some errors. So I think now's the time when we want to figure out what those errors were and then fix them. And then if we have time, if we can do it, I had this idea where we could move this to Lambda, start move some of this to Lambda. So have Lambda listen for a new object in S3. And then when it sees that, fire off a Lambda to at least get the transcribe job going. See if we can get that far today.
I think we can get there. I think we'll be able to.
So one thing I wanted to do is, before we weren't prompting in our main function for a file name of the file to upload, or a job name. That's what it was. We weren't prompting for a job name. We were just hard coding the job name, which means if we tried to run it again, it would give us an error that job already existed. So I don't know if we want to give it like a randomized component.
It could be a random name. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I mean, down the line.
Not sure how to do that exactly.
Is there like a random function that we could probably...
There has to be. Let's find out. Create a random... Let's see what Copilot...
It's so interesting how like it just even completed what your comment was going to be.
We'll say create a random job name, no special characters. Okay, so what did it do? All right, so we created a job name where it joined random choices of, okay, sure. I mean, that looks legit. Now we just need to replace this job with job name. Cool. Now we don't have to worry about that collision of job names every time this thing runs. It'll just generate a random job name. I'm sure there's a seed we could put in there, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet.
We'll get there eventually.
Okay. The result is not accessed anywhere. So we probably want to print the results. Okay. So I'm going to need an MP3 to do this. Probably should have set that up ahead of time. So let me...
I mean, we could use your MP3 from last week,
Oh, that's absolutely what I'm going to do. It's just a matter of what did I do with that file? Aside from sending it to you. I think I sent it to you via Slack, so I could probably just download it again. Yep, it's in Slack. Hey, Kasia. Thanks for joining today.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. I know it's late for you. It's like probably just before midnight for her. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay. All right. So I do have an MP3 file now that we can use. Get its file path. All right. All right, so I'm already in the virtual environment and in the right directory. So I'm just going to fire off this script. We'll see what happens. I'll need the bucket name. You have that handy.
I do. I also realized that my mic is not feeding in from my Yeti.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wonder how it sounds for you.
Doesn't sound bad.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and fix that, but I'll tell you what the bucket name is. Give me a second. Wasn't it called like Live on M.A.I.N 7 something?
It was something like that, yeah.
All right. Yikes. Yeah, it's Livestream on M.A.I.N 7281, and I'll drop it into the back channel chat.
Is that with the dash?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right, let's see. File uploaded successfully, accessible at that location, waiting for our wonderful job name, which is AC1HH Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to make that something a little friendlier later. It did come up with a random job name, which is what we needed. Okay, so far so good. We are now at the point where it is the transcribe job is currently running, and it's checking through a loop to see what the current status of it is. That's kind of where's that? That's defined here. So it does a max of 60 tries, but oh, looks like we got an error. So let's see what the error is. Okay, completed. Download transcript from this ridiculous thing. And then we got to trace back from the main transcribe file summarize. It invoked transcribed file, job name, object URL, key error, transcript file, URI on line 45. Okay, so what's line 45? Return job transcript file URI. Okay, so it completed the job, but we tried to return this, and I think we might have just gotten the syntax wrong. Does that sound, that looks closer, right?
It does.
There was a space there before.
Oh,
so
okay.
When it returned this downloads transcript from, and it returned this ridiculous thing, which was maybe actually what we need is this to return this whole thing. I think that's what's going on. Okay. So that's what we're going to return from that function. And let me just make sure that makes sense. So we get back that. All right. All right. We'll see. We'll run it again.
Let's go.
Should probably put this in Notepad somewhere. The users, or just put the file closer.
Right in your C drive. Right at the root.
Live stream on main, and it was 7218.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. No. Oh, 7281. My bad.
That's all right.
We were close.
7281. Now it lets me up arrow. That was weird. Okay. So we're transcribing again.
So it did fail based off of a bad bucket name, I guess.
It failed because our reference in the
the second time you
method
ran it,
was
actually.
no good. So the value we were trying to return was invalid.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that return statement gave us an invalid value. So it just threw an error there because it wasn't sure how to parse that. So hopefully now it'll get back the correct value. Hey, we got a different error this time. Key too long when calling get object operation. Your key is too long.
Is that the file name, which is too long, like the S3 endpoint?
Let's 66. That's where we invoked summarize. Goes to 76, which is the get object, bucket name, key name. So the value we're getting back is this monster. It has a bunch of stuff attached to it, and maybe it's just the way that we need to parse this. Let's see what this actually looks like. It's hard to look at it that way. Everything after this, we don't need. We really just need this.
That output.json. That
Yeah.
ASR output.json. Yeah.
So give myself a little more room here. So what we actually want to return is not the URI with all those all the query string stuff after it. What we want to do is split that string on the question mark and get the first half. Does that make sense?
It does. So if you show your terminal again, let's take a look at that file again, if you don't mind.
Yeah, this monster.
Yeah.
Right here is the question mark that has all the query string stuff after it.
And we want to drop that, everything after that. Got it.
Yeah, we don't need that because we have access to that transcription file based off of our permissions. We don't need all the security token stuff after it to get access to it. Now, maybe there's a better way to do it. Let me hide that again. We're getting back job. We're creating a transcription job from the transcribe client. All right. What are the properties of the transcribe client objects? Okay. What are the values? Oh, maybe it can take me. Get me a link docs. I don't want you to generate anything. Oh, what is it doing? That's not helpful. I just wanted the transcribe documentation. That's not what I wanted. I was just trying to see if there's a property we can grab that doesn't have all that stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can also just split. You know what? Do it.
Just want to say hello, Sophia. Thanks for coming by. Hope you're doing well. I still owe you a coffee chat. I'm sorry. I'll get back to you soon.
Oh, we can return the job as is and then just here. Where do we pass it to the next thing? Okay, before we split on the slash. So we'll say
output name, output file name, transcription name, output transcript.
Output transcript. And we want to split on question mark and get 0.
So what's the 0 function for? That basically just takes the first bit of that array.
Split will turn the string into an array. Where each element in the array are objects between the question marks if there were multiples of them. And so the 0, the brackets with the 0 just says, give me the first element of that array, which should be anything that's to the left of that first question mark, which should be the S3 full URL.
Okay.
And we did a split on this. So we're trying to just get the object name from there. We don't need to do this. We can do output transcript, split on that. That should in theory work. That'll get us just the object name. And we already have the bucket name, so we don't have to do that again. Okay. In theory, I guess we'll find out if that works.
Let's fire away.
Oh.
Line 131. The specified bucket does not exist. Oh, did you?
I got the bucket name wrong.
Okay.
It's 7281, right?
Yep.
There we go. Oops.
It's always something tiny.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
All right.
Imagine if we live streamed for like several hours every day, though.
How much fat fingering there would be?
Yeah.
An epic amount. All right. I'd love to see this go to the Bedrock successfully and submit that file.
So this will take a bit, though, right?
Well, it's been taking, I don't know, about 30 seconds each time we need to kick off a job. I could, in theory, find a smaller MP3. This one's, I mean, the MP3 is only like 10 minutes worth of content. All right, we got a new error. The specified key does not exist. That would be the object name. All right, so I'm going to take this ridiculous string here. And I'm going to try out what we're doing in here. Okay, so that's what we're getting back from that first command.
Okay.
All right. It's not putting it in the same bucket. That's why.
Is it trying to put it in a new bucket?
It's putting it in a different bucket that it's generating. So I think we actually need that full.
The thing is, though, there is no other bucket that I'm seeing here.
I think it's a bucket that's managed by transcribe where it puts them.
Oh, okay. Sneaky back in transcribe, eh? Okay.
Yeah, so we need to get the bucket name out of here as well as the key, because that's how the retrieval mechanism works. Unless we can just point it.
So if it stores it in a bucket in transcribe, could we not have it just store it in our bucket? Like our live on main bucket?
I don't know. Maybe that's something we could do in the properties of the job.
Let's go to transcribe. The transcribe service.
Yeah, this is the transcribe file, and we're giving it a job name, a file URI, media format, language code. Let's see what else is available here from this function. You want to get a transcriptionist job?
It does say output data location service managed.
You can say output bucket name and output key in here. As part of setting up the transcription job, you can tell it.
That's interesting. Okay.
So we could do
So-
that. We can
so-
update our function to take a bucket name and an output key to have it be more
So-
deterministic.
Would we want to use our own bucket, or should we create another one for this particular?
I think we could use the existing bucket and just a slightly different key.
Okay.
All right, so that means here under job name file URI, we're going to add a bucket name. And then under the properties here,
Output bucket name.
was that the output bucket name and output key? I don't want to call it that. Call job name.
I feel like we have a job name somewhere else. No.
Yeah, we're already
the
passing
same
that
job.
value. So
Okay.
they have an example here. I just want to check output key. Okay, then the transcription output path will be your bucket name, my transcript.json. That is great. That actually simplifies things a lot.
I feel like it just censored you for a second there because you said something and it just went and then it continued. I don't know why.
Okay, so this helps us a lot because the resulting file will be the bucket name / the job name.json.
Okay.
That's a little more deterministic than it was before. So we don't have to do all this weird split stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to. We actually have to return a value. Well, we have to update. All right. This is transcribe file. We're getting back summarization, but we don't actually need to return anything now. We need to add bucket name to where we're invoking it. Our object name is now just going to be the job name .json. So that would be what? Job name plus JSON. Yep. I think that'll do it. And then we got to update this where it doesn't need to return this value anymore.
And that just removes unnecessary output to our terminal.
Well, I updated this method so it's no longer returning a value because we don't actually need it to. We just need to know when the job is done because now we're being more deterministic about the bucket it's being written to and the file name and the key in that bucket. We know that information going in, so we don't need it to return that information to us. In theory. Okay. Give it another try. Get the bucket name right this time. 7281?
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right, so what did I just do? I changed our method for doing the transcription a little bit. So now it takes a bucket name as one of the inputs. And so instead of it writing to this S3 bucket that's being managed by transcript, it's now using our S3 bucket to store the transcript file. And we're using the job name as the key in the S3 bucket. So it should write this as a JSON file out to our S3 bucket. And then we're going to pass that object to the Bedrock process to do its thing. Oh, dear.
So what's interesting is when I was looking at the S3 bucket, it did seem to write a couple of things. So I see the MP3 up there. I also see two additional files one which I assume to be the job name, which if you scroll up a little bit, yeah, that's the job name that it also uploaded to the bucket. And then there's a write access check file.temp, which I guess is just
It actually didn't
file.
name it .json, if I'm looking at this correctly.
Oh, interesting.
Which doesn't jive with what it's telling me here. If you specify, it helps when you actually read things. Use this in combination to specify, okay, the default name for your transcription output is the same name you specified for your transcription job. If you specify doc example bucket and my transcript.json, which we didn't, that's why. If you specify, okay, so the output key just needs to be that. I think that's what happened. Is it's being very literal, and so it gave it the job name just without any file extension on it.
Mm-hmm.
'81. Okay. Give it another try. Now, this time in the S3 bucket, when it finishes the transcription, you should see that YTEWF8, et cetera, .json.
Let's see. I don't see that now, but I'll keep refreshing to see if something comes. No.
I'm guessing you won't
yet.
see it until the job finishes.
It is taking a little longer than normal. Oh, well, something happened. But
Well,
I do
this
see
is
the
different.
I do see the JSON there though.
Okay. All right.
So if I click on that JSON,
Transcribe. We got to line 131 this time. That's our main, which goes to 67, which is where we invoke summarize, which goes to line 116. I know I'm bouncing around here. Response equals Bedrock invoke model. So this is where we seem to have run into trouble. So it looks like it got the object this time.
so
And it said an error validation occurred when calling invoke model. Messages.context.0.text.text field required.
So does transcribe need access to read the bucket as well?
No.
Or no? No? Okay.
You mean Bedrock?
Well, okay, hold on. Maybe Bedrock, but interestingly enough, when I try to access that object JSON, it gives me an access denied error. Which is interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, I get an access denied, but I'm not surprised by that. I'm not like signed in any way.
So what does the error say if we go back to the terminal?
The error is saying that messages.0.content field required. So that would be there's our messages, content, text, source, data, transcript content. I'm guessing there's nothing there. And it's
So I
getting
guess
the transcript content from pulling the S3 object. So if the response is empty, then there's going to be nothing in transcript content. So the question is our transcript empty? Python 3. Let's see, we can find out. Let's create ourselves an S3 client. Oh, I need to import Photo 3. No, it's so angry with me. Oh, why is that not working? I was hoping to just run this portion of things directly. All right. Yeah, it's super weird that you can't open the transcript file either.
I'm curious. Like, I do have bucket permissions too, so I'm not sure why. Permissions. Oh, interesting. Here, let me do something. Oh, I can't even modify. Wait, this is odd. So I have read and write permissions on the object, but I still can't do anything with it.
Amazon Transcribe must have permission to use the specified location. You can change Amazon S3 permissions. Okay. Interesting. S3 get object. I'm wondering if we should go back to
You letting it do its own bucket.
right, because it gives you back the file. The value it gives you back includes all the necessary tokens to get it.
Mm-hmm. And I think us kind of modifying that by breaking it down is not allowing it to proceed, I guess.
Bucket name contained. When you use this operation for the directory bucket. You pass all of the various token properties with it. I don't see anything in here that lets me do.
So let's revert back to not using live on main. But what was, so we went down that path because for some reason we weren't able to access that specific bucket that is managed by transcribe, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not that. So the string that we got back when it was managing its own bucket had all the query string stuff after it.
Right.
Like this.
All of that extra
all
stuff,
this stuff.
Oh,
all that
hold
stuff
on.
after it embeds a token
Mm-hmm.
so that you can access the transcript. So we either need to parse that token or find a function that takes just the full URL with the token and gets the file that way. Which I'm wondering, like, this is crazy. I think this is, where's the original? This one here. I don't know how long that token is good for.
Let's do a quick search.
Exit. Something really still here and just oak web request URI. Request has expired, so it did expire, but we could just skip using a client and just grab the JSON directly.
That works.
So we'll have to revert a couple things. We're not going to specify a bucket name anymore, so we can get rid of these two things. That means we need to update this. Okay. What's the web request thing? This is where where my knowledge of Python falls down a little bit.
Well, we can definitely figure it out.
I mean, there's obviously a Python library that does this, right? Python HTTP request.
Like you want to just
import
hit the
requests.
API.
That is literally it. Import requests. Okay. I don't know if requests is in our requirements. It's not. Install requests. Cool. Okay. So this will get the transcription object using the get. And I'll get back a response. Response should be that, which is transcript data. And then we want to pass that. So we might have to change this.
Mm-hmm.
instead of like going through this whole process of creating an S3 Bodo client and getting the object, we already have the transcript content. Instead of object name. And we don't need a bucket name either. We just need the prompt and the transcript data, right?
Yeah. And we have all of that info.
Okay. Actually, I like that better because now that makes that method more generalized. Instead of it being one that relies on an S3 bucket, we're saying, no. This method just passes wherever you get this transcript data from. You pass it that way.
Okay.
All right, let's see what happens. I think I've lost my file path again.
Can't up arrow.
No, I tried. No. Stream on main 7281.
Yep. That's the bucket name. Ooh. Line 63, line 123.
Oh, transcribe file takes 3 positional arguments, but oh, I see. Yep. Transcribe file. Oh, it doesn't take a bucket name anymore, right? That was the.
Yeah. I think we dropped that altogether.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. It's kicking off again.
All right.
Made a lot of changes in flight. We'll see.
That's fine. I mean, if we want, we can always go back and pause the video and see where we change stuff. Wouldn't that be cool? It was an AI that went in, or some agent that went in, looked at the video and be like, "Oh yeah, I saw what you did there," and documents those changes.
Maybe.
Where's my bucket? Just go to the bucket.
Man, I had high hopes for this week, and we just ended up cycling through this one a whole bunch of times, but learned a bit more about some of the methods that we were calling and what they actually return.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a good thing.
And it failed again, of course. It failed differently though. That's exciting. Get URL in request. Oh, so it failed on this. Requests get transcription object. Interesting. So we got back the transcript thing, but retrieving it doesn't seem to have gone great. And I wonder why. What does request.get expect? A URL. Just a string. no scheme, invalid URL, no scheme supplied.
Interesting.
Did we return? Oh, very dumb. We're not returning the value.
Interesting. Oh, because we deleted that job ID or returned that job line, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were no longer returning. I put that inside the print statement. I got to pull that out. We were no longer returning the job ID, so it returned back nothing. Which in a way is comforting because that's an easy fix, as opposed to something slightly more complicated. And we'll see if that works. But yeah, we're actually returning it. Now, while that's running, I'm curious, like, this is a transcribe client get transcription job, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to the documentation for transcribe. So this is the transcribe service, and we were doing get transcription job. And what I really want to know is what's in the response. Because we got start time, settings, model, job execution, identity, language codes. Yeah, okay. I was wondering if it included the entire transcription, but it doesn't. It only includes the transcript file URI.
Mm-hmm. Oh, failed again.
It was a little bit different though. It's still saying field required. I think we need to figure out, did we successfully retrieve the contents? I almost want to do like print transcript data here and just see what's actually being returned.
Yeah. I also want to be cognizant of your time because I know we have to end a little bit early, a few minutes early. So
I think, yeah, this might be a logical place to stop. So what we should do is find out what is the actual format of the transcript data, and then what do we have to do to it to make the transcript service payload happy? Because it's probably looking for the payload to be in a specific format, like this transcript data, probably looking for a specific format, and we might not be giving it the format it wants.
Yeah, that's interesting. So now so basically it's Bedrock returning the error, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not, whatever it's getting back, it's not getting what it wants. It's not what a girl wants. It's not what Bedrock needs. Whatever makes it happy sets it free, et cetera, et cetera. But now that I've added that print statement, I really want to see what's in the transcript data, and that will give us a clue to where to start in 2 weeks. Because we're taking next week off, everybody.
That's right. We've got a little break, but we will resume operations, I think, the last week of February, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're both traveling next week. I'll be in San Francisco. Woo!
And I'll be down in Orlando. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be nice and warm. That's what I'm looking forward to, given all the snow that we've been dealing with the last little bit.
It'll certainly be warmer than it is here. We'll see how much warmer. Okay, so this is what we're getting back. I don't know how useful that is.
Well, what's interesting is I see words in there of your
there's definitely words in there, but there's a bunch of other stuff too.
Is that maybe like the timestamps, perhaps, of each of those words? I feel like it is.
All right. So I think we're going to have to munge the data a little bit before we send it over to Bedrock, so it knows what the heck to do with it.
All
And
right.
that is going to be where we start next week,
Or next
2
week.
weeks from now.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much. Again, I hope you have an excellent Friday and an excellent weekend. We will be back in 2 weeks. Ned, it's been a pleasure.
Reno, always a pleasure.
All right. Cheers, everyone. See you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.